We've invited some wonderful women from business. Some are customers and some are prominent women leaders in the industry. And so I'd like to invite each of them up here to join us today.
My path started, honestly, when I was like 17 years old. I was trying to figure out how was I going to go to college. I'm number 9 of 9. A lot of you guys know this. I've had this story with you.
So I grew up with, like one pair of jeans, a pair of sneakers, my brother's t-shirts, all the things that happen when you're in a family of a single parent and money's really tight.
In the community I grew up in, we didn't even think about going to college. That wasn't even a mindset.
I was the first person to go to college in my family. It wasn't even discussed. It just wasn't a topic of conversation.
Like my fellow panelists, I was the first one in my family to be able to go to college.
One day, I get summoned from the high school football coach to come meet with him, and I'm thinking, I'm not dating any of these guys this quarter. Like, what's the deal? So he summons me and says, hey, I want you to go to this place and I want you to interview. And this place was called IBM.
I realized I had an aptitude for technology that I'd never even considered. Nobody in my household had ever mentioned technology. I mean, this is, the 70s.
I went to my advisor and told him, I want to do something in information systems. I want to be part of tech. So this was 1999. And he looks at me and he goes, have you considered apparel merchandising? At the time I thought, well, he knows more than I do. So maybe he knows that I'm not cut out for tech.
I've always lacked confidence. There's always this secret shadow that tells me I don't belong in the room with the other people, that if they really knew where I came from, they wouldn't want to associate with me.
Women have to work sort of twice as hard, right, as men, right? It just really, it's just the truth, right? And be able to, to me it was more of being able to adapt to the circumstance. So, meaning when, I work, I am 55 years old, I've been working for more than 30 years, and I have never worked for a woman. Ever.
A woman will only apply for a job if she meets every single criteria in that job description.
Yep, exactly.
Like there's one thing and she'll say, oh, that's not for me because I haven't done this one thing on the list. A man will apply for a job if he meets at least half. So that actually was really powerful to me because then I started looking around thinking, all these dudes I work with, they've only met half of the jobs. So I'm pretty sure they're hiding something too. So for me, it was powerful to read that research and just know that, no one expects you to know everything. And I'm a big believer, you don't have to know the most, you just have to care the most. And that's what shows up, and that's how we get opportunities.
Mm-hmm. If I waited for the men that I work with to be able to change themselves to really appreciate me, I would not be here.
Am I really that afraid of no? Am I really that afraid of being judged? Because I could live my whole life in fear and never experience what I came here to experience. And what's the worst part about no? Only what we think no means. Because no means nothing.
My entire career has been in technology. My career has been a large number of pivots. I'm a big proponent of pivoting. You pivot off of obstacles that transpire in your life because there is no straight path forward. If someone tells you that, they're not telling you the truth. And I can say that with a smile.
Finding this passion for technology really was sort of the catalyst for a career that I've never stepped out of technology. I've been in technology my whole life.
I got the job, but then when I got the job, I thought, oh my goodness, I fooled them. I fooled them. I'm gonna show up to work and they're gonna be like, show us that sequel that you talked about in the interview. And so when I showed up, I think that was like my first oh my goodness, I don't belong here. It's only a matter of time before they realize it. And I didn't look like anyone there, right? Back then it was all men.
A lot of women won't be heard because they won't speak up because they're intimidated. So you have to have this sense of self-esteem.
Even if I don't feel worthy, I'm gonna act as if until I do. And that I can tell you right now, if you can just persevere, use your adversity, become like water. When you encounter an obstacle, what does water do? It moves around it.
Don't be afraid to drive, take control. You know, try to be brief. I struggle with it too because I want to tell the full story. And then the other thing, help each other, right? Never, ever, 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 ever join negative talk about another woman, in leadership especially.
What do I want? What problem would I love to solve? What really lights me up? What gives me passion to want to continue living each day? And how am I thinking about others and myself? And that 6-year-old, get an image of her. Start parenting her. A lot of us didn't have parenting role models, did we? Start parenting ourselves, because guess what? We're really good parents. We can do that. So do those things, and I'm telling you, it will transform your entire life from this point forward. Who wants to leave here different than when they came in?